Alright, on this channel, I've done warrior cats fursuits before, 2 of them to be exact. But do you know what I haven't done? The key, crucial thing that I've forgotten. A true blunder on my part. You probably read the title, so I mean, I can't really dramatically reveal it because you already know. So I'm talking about Wings of Fire, alright? I'm talking about Wings of Fire. How could I forget? How could I forget? 2ET Sutherland, she's crying right now. She watches these videos and she told me she's been bawling her eyes out because I haven't made a Wings of Fire video yet. So that is what we're doing today. And I've decided that I want to do a SKYWING fursuit. It's probably the most basic tribe, but you know, it's still pretty good. My whole, thought process here is that a dragon fursuit head is probably going to be pretty complicated, pretty hard to make. And I don't really want to make it more complicated than it has to be by adding fins and ice spikes and God knows what else. So yeah, this is the design I've come up with. It's pretty simple and it's not any particular character from the books. It's just kind of a generic SKYWING. I was thinking about doing an actual character from the books, like, I don't know, Queen Scarlet. That'd be pretty cool with half her face melted off. But as I said, I don't really want to make this too overcomplicated. The main reason I even want to do this in the first place is, obviously I want to make a Wings of Fire video, but also I want to practice my unusual fursuit head shapes. Basically, I want to practice anything that isn't a cat or a dog, right? Something unusual, and a dragon is pretty different, alright? It's not even close. So I reckon that'll be good practice. Anyway, this is what we're doing. Enough waffling. Let's just get on with it. And to start off with, I made a bucket head base as per usual. This is how we start literally every fursuit head. And what we do is we take our basic little helmet here and we need to start shaping this and making it look like a dragon. So to do that, we're going to have to stick a lot of foam to it. And this part is not going to be as usual because obviously, as I said, we're making a dragon here. We're making a weird shaped head. It's going to be very different from what we're used to, especially the snout, all right? It is very long and that poses a lot of problems. So we're going to have to get a bit creative here because, I mean, like, where are we going to place the eyes? A person's eyes are all the way down here and we have this giant big fat snout in the way. So we're going to have to come up with a plan for that later on. But I'll leave tomorrow's problems to tomorrow's me. Alright, the main problem I'm dealing with right now is I'm trying to get this bottom mouthpiece to not sag and droop down. I thought this was going to be no issue. I was going to stick some of this wireframe hanger type of stuff down it, make it nice and strong, bing bang bong, and it's all good. But no, apparently that's not how it works because it literally made no difference. Like, I was told this by Andy Matronic and she lied to me.
And one last tidbit, if your jaw's floppy like mine, grab a wire hanger and bend it into a frame. Pop it in and your life will be changed.
I listened to your sage wisdom, alright, and it was all a trick, a dirty lie. I mean, look at this. I went through all the effort of making this bloody Rube Goldberg machine, and look at it, floppy and pathetic. I faffed around with it for a bit, and I ended up creating a whole number of different machinations and complicated contraptions, until I finally figured it out. Now, you might look at this, and you might be wondering, how did you do it? Oh my god, I don't even see any metal bits or anything holding it up. Is this some sort of trickery? Some sort of black magic? But no, alright? It's not. It's science, okay? It's genius. It's far beyond what your feeble mind can comprehend. I just put some glue here. Like, I just glued this bit to, like, the top of the snout right there. And, yeah, it's literally it. that took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out, and I was overthinking it way too much. But whatever. Alright, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter. It's done. I figured it out. Did you figure it out? No. No, you didn't. Anyway, we still need to make the entire rest of the base. This was just one part of it. But luckily, carving the rest of the foam base was not nearly as bad. You know, I actually thought it was going to be harder than it really was, because I don't really have like a pre-made method to go with. You know, normally I do the snout, then the cheeks, then the McDonald's M, and it's all sorted. Same method every time, and it works like clockwork, alright? But obviously you can't use that on a dragon head, because it looks nothing like it. So I just kind of faffed about with it, added bits here and there, shaved bits off here and there, and, you know, didn't really follow any set procedure, just kind of winging it, I suppose. Isn't that funny? But yeah, no, I don't think it turned out too bad. I think it's alright. And now that that's done, the next step is going to be making the eyes. For that, we get the eye mesh, we stick it to some of these white donut plasticky things, then we put a little rim around them, and that is our eyes. And now you might be asking, you know, what is this rim even for? And you also, you know, you might be asking, why are they bloody giant? But that's on purpose, okay? Both of those things are on purpose. It's all part of the plan, alright? Because as I said earlier, these eyes are going to be kind of tricky because of the whole giant snout thing. You know what I mean? But I've got a plan, okay? And the first step is we gotta bust open the side of our foam base. Like, really bust it open. It looks like we've set off a bomb inside it or something. And you're probably horrified, absolutely aghast at what I've done here. You know, it looks like I'm destroying everything. But listen, alright? Trust me. It's all part of the plan, okay? It's all calculated. We need to do this because we need the eyes to be low enough to actually, you know, see out of them. So we do kind of have to bust open half the head to actually get them there. And once we do that, we shove in our massive, gigantic eyes. And I know it still looks terrible, but we're not done yet. All right, we got to add this little plastic border frame type of thing to the eyes to make them, you know, not gigantic. And, you know, you can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? And there is also a reason why I didn't just make the eyes smaller in general. It's because adding this little frame around the eyes means that we get the 3D follow me eyes effect, so that no matter where we're standing, it always looks like the eyes are looking at us. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Cool little illusion. But yeah, the head is almost done now. And we just need to carve some extra bits, you know, kind of nitpicking, I suppose. But, oh. That's going to be a problem, innit? Yeah, my scissors have given up on me halfway through. They've literally lasted since the very first video, but they've finally kicked the bucket. Now, last time when my glue gun died, he got a nice little burial. You know, we all mourned him. He got a proper send-off. But these scissors, alright, if they think they can get away with this, if they think they can have the same luxuries that my glue gun did, well, they are sorely mistaken. I am almost done carving this head. I am not going all the way to the shop to buy a new pair just for this. So my only other option is to cheat death itself. This is going perfectly. Piece by piece, he is coming together. Oh, yes, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I just need to add the final thing. It's alive! It's alive! I have done it. I have brought him back from the dead. Temporarily. Okay, yeah, it's not exactly a perfect solution or a long-term solution, like, at all. But it's good enough for now, alright? It's good enough until next time. We won't really need it now until the next fursuit anyway, because I use separate scissors for my fabric, because I'm special like that. So yeah, I did my last few bits of cutting and carving with these like undead zombie scissors, and now we are properly done with the foam base. The next step is to sew together the lining for the head. And so I actually, for once in my life, pulled out the sewing machine for this one. And if you know this channel, if you've watched before, you'll know that me and sewing machines don't exactly get along. I'm usually more of a hand sewing type of guy. But I decided, you know, I should probably try and get used to it, since, you know, that's what all the professionals use. And you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but it actually wasn't so bad using the sewing machine. You know, maybe I'm warming up to it a little bit. I expected it to be really annoying, obviously, because it's a sewing machine, but also because of this stuff. Okay, this lining is made out of the worst, most fiddly, most annoying material that I've ever had the displeasure of touching. Okay, it sucks. So I thought it was going to be a terrible experience, but it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. It really wasn't that bad. But let's not get overzealous here, alright? I've already hit my sewing machine quota for this video. You've got your sewing machine content. I'm going back to hand sewing for sewing the fur together. But before we can do any sewing, we need to pattern it, don't we? And you know what that means? We've gotten to that part of the video again. Literally every single video we do the tape thing. It has never changed, and I don't think it ever will. I pretty much say this exact same line in every video as well. What we do is we fully mummify the whole fursuit head in tape. Then we draw out where we want our seams and stuff to be. Then we cut it all off again and use those cut off pieces to pattern the fur. Then voila, a bunch of fur pieces that are, you know, kind of like a puzzle. We sew them all together in the right order, and it will now fit on the head base exactly how we want it to. I don't think this method can get any better. I don't think this can be improved upon. So you're going to have to get used to seeing this in every video and me saying the exact same thing in every video. Anyway, now that we've got all our fur sewed together and ready, we need to actually glue it to the base. So we slather some glue all over the base and... oh. I ran out. Okay. Well, great. Okay. I thought I had another pack of glue sticks somewhere, but no. Turns out this was my last one. So I've got to order some more. And you know, it made me think, maybe I should actually keep better track of my stock. So, you know, this doesn't happen again. You know, learn from my mistakes maybe. But the problem with that is I can't really be bothered, to be honest. I don't really want to keep track of my stock.
Oh, I know. I better make a list of all my supplies, like a good, organised little
loser. Alright, only losers organise things. Organisation is for the weak. Instead, I'm gonna buy 450 glue sticks. I'm not gonna run out now, am I? Huh? How'd you like those apples? Although it has just dawned on me that I'm gonna have to pick all these up now. Yeah, I threw them all over the table for, like, you know, dramatic effect for the YouTube clip. But I'm actually going to have to pick all these up now.
3 hours later.
Okay, so we've got our glue sticks. We're back on track. And now we can finish off gluing the fur to the base. All we have to do now is add the neck fur and these little black rings around the eyes. But those two things are just sort of standard at this point and pretty self-explanatory. But for this suit, I also wanted to add teeth. Now, I don't normally do teeth, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So, you know, I just kind of winged it. Made the same joke twice. But yeah, I just put 2 big fangs on each side, as well as a smaller tooth behind it. And I reckon that looks alright. You know, it looks fine. But I have seen online some people do fursuit teeth like way better than this. Like they have gums in the base. Now, I didn't really think of that while I was making the base itself. But listen, next time, alright, next time we'll give it a go. But for now, I think that looks alright. And that is the head completely finished. But calm down, alright, hold your horses. I'm not showing you that yet. Okay, you're gonna have to wait till the end of the video to see that. First, we've got to make the tail and also the gloves to, you know, complete the partial. And for the gloves, I actually decided to make my own pattern. Normally, I just use a pre-made pattern for like paw gloves, but obviously dragons don't have paws, so like doesn't really work, does it? So instead, this is what I came up with. It's basically the exact same thing, honestly, but it just has sharper, more dragony digits. And obviously no paw pads. I also made the claws this time out of fur. Normally they're made out of this like fleecy, plushy sort of stuff, but I only have white, plushy, fleecy stuff, whatever this is called. And obviously I wanted it to be brown. And I think it looks fine, like it doesn't look too bad, but for next time I probably wouldn't do this again. I'll probably try and match up the colours as best I can and use some fleecy stuff. Even if it's not like exactly the same colour, it'll probably be better than this, you know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, gloves are pretty simple, you know, just sew them together with this pattern, bish bash bosh, and they're done. And now the last part is the tail, which is also extremely simple. This is the pattern for it. Genuinely, like, this is it. You just make two of these big triangles, sew them together. You can see along the top there, it's just one big long seam. Then you stuff it, and boom, tail done. Obviously, you know, you have to add like a belt loop and stuff like that to make it wearable, but you know, it's pretty simple. It's probably the simplest fursuit part to make literally ever. And that just about does it, I reckon. Our SKYWING fursuit is fully completed. So, are we ready to see the finished product? Well, actually, no, not yet. We still need to thank the new patron members first. Come on, guys, can't forget that, can we? So, Bagel Damanikit, thank you very much. And if you watching want to support me and support these videos, the best way to do it is by becoming a patron member. Although, if you don't want to spend any money, you can just subscribe and like the video. And subscribing is free, so you've got no excuse, you might as well. Anyway, with that out of the way, we are ready. So let's see it. Drum roll, please. Boom. It's not bad at all. Although, I'll be honest, this one was definitely a bit of a challenge to make, alright? Especially the head and the shape of it. So, it took a lot longer than usual, and I had a lot more problems than usual. Like, I didn't mention this earlier, but to begin with, the front of the fursuit head was like way heavier than the back, obviously because there's so much foam on one side of it. So if you tried to wear it, it would like break your neck. And I had to rip it all apart and hollow out pretty much the entire snout. Like if you see here, this used to be pretty much solid. And also, obviously, getting the eyes in the right position was a bit of a struggle, as I said earlier. But, like, I didn't mention the extent of it. I actually had to change the shape of the eyes. If you see, the pupils aren't even actually centered in the middle like they normally are. I had to put them more forward so that you could see out of them. But no matter, alright? It was good practice, and I'll be much better prepared for next time when I decide to make another weird long-shaped head. If you want to buy this suit for yourself, as usual, there will be a link to the auction in the description. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.